Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. I've done a lot of videos lately on trees, both from my Christmas tree farm, and then we did some on the timber stock that I have on the timberland on my property, and what it takes for timber to grow with large trunks, the factors that it has to get large trunks and get a lot of wood in the base. So I just thought it'd be interesting. I have a couple 2x4s here that old growth and some stuff that you'd find in the lumber yards right now, and I just wanted to do a quick comparison. Here is a board that I bought recently, and it's very indicative of what you'd find here in the Pacific Northwest if you're doing a project now. It's a good board, but you could see that there's only about 8 rings on this board for years of growth. Good solid board, but it's fairly light. What you don't see as often anymore, I have a board here that I saved from years ago when I was first getting into construction, getting out of high school and going through college, and I was doing a lot of building to put myself through college. But this board has been around for years, is bone dry. It's been inside covered for about 30 years, but one couple things you'll notice, it is straight as an arrow and it's very heavy. Even though it's bone dry, is very heavy. It's very dense wood. And then if you look at the end here, you'll see that there are the very, very tight rings. I put pencil marks for 10 years. Here's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and there's 8 more rings. So you'll see 38 years worth of growth on this 2x4. Now I know the comparison is quite as fair because the grain was going the other way on the other board, but you can see this really nice tight grain. And this was more indicative of lumber that we'd see back in the late 80s, early 90s, especially around here in Woodland, Washington. When I was building, you were seeing a lot of second growth then, but you'd still see, it was not unusual to see some of this old growth come through, and these are really nice boards. Nowadays, you'll still see some of these like this, not very often. There might be a tree or two that people are clearing out that have been around for a long time, but this is kind of rare. This was obviously growing in an old growth forest, trees all the way around it, so it couldn't grow as fast because it's only getting light on the top. But it grew really strong and really tight, and it made for great lumber. So I just thought it'd be interesting to look at boards, what they used to look like, and the grain, or consistently used to look like this, and it transitioned away from that to boards that are on plantations now, or just replants by Weyerhaeuser or whoever else it is, and good wood, but we're just saving that what old growth is left, we're leaving it behind. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but they're saying the tallest tree that ever lived was probably a Doug fir in the state of Washington. Estimated was 470 to 480 feet tall.